What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Earth. Here we are with my 2021 MLB Mock Draft. So you guys are seeing this on Friday, and the draft begins in just a few days. So I want to get this out for you guys. It's one round, so we have 29 picks, and you'll see why there's not 30 later in the video. But we're going to get right into this thing. So I'm going to try to break down these players fairly quickly. Just so this doesn't get to be a super long video. But let's get started. So picks 1 through 10. With the first pick, the Pittsburgh Pirates select Marcelo Mayer, a shortstop from the high school level. So he's from Eastlake, California, and he is arguably the top prospect in this class. There are a lot of guys that you can make a case for being the top prospect in this class. Mayer is one of them. He's a very, very good player, so I expect him to develop very nicely. Of course, coming from high school, he's young, got a lot of upside, and there's a lot of talented shortstops in this class. Marcelo Mayer is just one of them. He's a great hitter. He's a pretty good fielder as well, and he can run the base path and has some power. So that's everything that the Pirates are looking for to potentially be their future franchise superstar, Marcelo Mayer. Now to the second pick, the Texas Rangers select Jack Leiter, a right-handed pitcher from Vanderbilt. So this is a very interesting pick. His fastball is truly amazing. He has such a great fastball and a good curveball as well. So I think he will be able to develop some more. He's 21 years old, played at Vanderbilt, and was amazing at Vanderbilt. So I do expect him to continue to improve, and he should be a very, very good pitcher and should be the guy that the Rangers need. Maybe potentially looking to sell Kyle Gibson, and he can be that next big-time pitcher for the Rangers, because Kyle Gibson, he has really made a name for himself this year for the Texas Rangers. So next up, we have the third pick, but before we get to that third pick, the Texas Rangers, this is an interesting team. So Joey Gallo, that's a guy that you could potentially sell. So outfield, probably not anybody that you're willing to take, but outfield, maybe that's something you're looking for to get a superstar. And then shortstop is interesting. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, he's a very good player. So I'm curious to see if the Rangers continue with him as their shortstop, because there's plenty of other shortstops that they could take here in this range. I have quite a few shortstops in this mock draft, but this is the best pitching prospect right here in this draft. So you're getting a guy who can be a true ace for you one day. Next up, at number 3 overall, we've got the Detroit Tigers selecting Jordan Lawler, a shortstop, once again from the high school level. So he is another guy that could definitely be the top prospect in this draft class. He's a very good hitter, and he's a very good defender as well. So he has all the tools that you really want from a shortstop, especially coming out of the high school level. This guy is going to be really, really good by the time he makes it to the major leagues. At number 4 overall, I've got the Boston Red Sox selecting Henry Davis, a catcher from Louisville. So that's his picture right there in the bottom right. He is one of the best hitters in this draft class. What he can do as a hitter is amazing, and defensively he's great. He's very good defensively. He can hits for power, and he hits for an average as well. So Henry Davis, very good looking player. Now I could have definitely gone pitcher here, and there's a couple of pitchers that will go in the next, I'd say, 10 picks. But I thought that Henry Davis would be some great value at number 4. This is a good value pick here. Henry Davis, very, very good player. At number 5, the Baltimore Orioles, I have them selecting Khalil Watson. So he's another high school shortstop here. Khalil Watson, this guy's a fun player to watch. He runs the base path so quick, and he's a good hitter. Not an amazing power hitter. With his lefty bat, he's able to get hits and runs the bases very, very well. Solid defender as well. So he'll continue to improve. I feel like he's probably a step down from Mayer and Lawler, though. Next up, at number 6, the Arizona Diamondbacks select Brady House, yet another shortstop from the high school level. So Brady House, this guy is a righty bat. He's a very solid defensive player and a very solid offensive player as well. Hits for power, and he's going to continue to improve. He's committed to Tennessee, so committed to a high-level program, as is a lot of these high school guys, and you'll see that as a common theme throughout this mock draft. But Brady House is a very interesting prospect. I feel like you could rank him as high as the number 3 shortstop. I feel like Meyer and Lawler are definitely the top 2, though. But Brady House, very good player for the Diamondbacks, adding him here at number 6. So once again, this is just the mock draft. The actual draft is in just a few days, so I don't expect this to be super accurate. I'm higher on some guys, and I'm lower on some guys than it seems like the league is. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but I don't expect this to be insanely accurate. At number 7, the Kansas City Royals, they get some pitching from Jackson Jobe. He is a pitcher committed to Ole Miss, a high school pitcher. He's a righty. He's got a very good slider fastball combo, and the changeup is in there as well. So I think his mound presence will continue to improve, and he'll be able to control at bats. I think more and more as he moves through the minor leagues. But he's going to be a very, very good pitcher. Definitely could be up there in that conversation for the top pitcher in this draft class. So yet another righty pitcher coming off the board. At number 8 overall, the Colorado Rockies select Kumar Rocker, a right-handed pitcher from Vanderbilt. So his teammate, Jack Leiter, already off the board, but Kumar Rocker, the big thing for him is control, but also the velocity dip that we saw this year was a little concerning because at 21 years old, that's not something that you want to see, but this guy, he's huge, and he is quite intimidating on the mound. Very good fastball, very good slider, and he has, and this might surprise you a little bit, he's got a pretty solid curveball. So the big thing for him is just controlling the at-bats and controlling his pitches on the mound. The Rockies actually drafted him out of high school, but I thought this would be a solid fit. Bringing in Kumar Rocker once again, I thought this would be a solid fit for the Colorado Rockies. Next up, at number 9, the Los Angeles Angels. They get some pitching help from Sam Bachman. He's a pitcher, a righty from the Miami of Ohio. Very good fastball, very good slider, and that seems to be a common theme with a lot of the pitchers in this draft, at least up to this point. That fastball slider combo is very, very good. So Bachman, he is a very good player. The Angels, they kind of need some pitching help. Shohei's done a good job. They have some solid pitchers in there, but I think this is a guy that could come in there and be a big, big time pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels. Next up, at number 10, the New York Mets. I had a little bit of a tough time with this pick, but I ended up deciding on Sal Frelick, an outfielder from Boston College. This is a guy that I really like. Got to see him play in the ACC this year. Of course, I'm a Clemson fan, so it wasn't fun seeing him go up against the Tigers because he is a very, very good player. He hits super well, and with his lefty bat, he's not a big time power hitter, but he's gonna get hits. He's gonna get extra base hits. He's great running the bases, and he's solid defensively. Maybe I think he'll probably end up staying at center field. However, there's a chance that he could end up moving over to right field. It's really just a toss-up with him as far as where he plays in the outfield at the major league level, but he should turn in to a very good player. Now on to pick number 11, the Washington Nationals select Matt McLain, a shortstop from UCLA. So you're probably thinking, hey, they already have Trey Turner. Now, Matt McLain, this is a guy that has upside at third base as well. He may end up having to move to third base, so that would be a very good fit for the Nationals. You're bringing in a guy at third base, another infielder who isn't a big-time power hitter, but he's solid defensively, has a good arm, and he's able to get hits. He's able to get on base. So this is a very good player coming from UCLA. At number 12, the Seattle Mariners select Andrew Painter, a right-handed pitcher, another guy from the high school level. I really like this guy. He's got a pretty solid fastball, decent slider. I think he's going to improve, but he does a good job controlling the at-bats, and that's something that you really like to see from especially a high school pitcher. At number 13, the Philadelphia Phillies. they select Bubba Chandler, who this guy really doesn't have a designated position, so he's labeled as a shortstop and a right-handed pitcher from the high school level. So he is committed to the Clemson Tigers as a quarterback and as a baseball player. So I really don't know what to say about Bubba Chandler. Overall, I'd say that he's probably projecting better as a pitcher, but it also leads me to say that he could be better as a shortstop. Of course, he's got a rocket arm being a pitcher that can play shortstop. So if he ends up playing shortstop in the major leagues, he's just gonna have to really improve as a hitter. I think he'll be able to hit for some power, but defensively he's gonna be great. He's gonna have a rocket arm at the shortstop position if that's where he ends up. But as far as being a pitcher goes, fastball, curveball, I'd say are his top two pitches. So now, moving on to number 14, the San Francisco Giants select Ty Madden, a right-handed pitcher from Texas. So this is a very good pitching prospect here, coming from Texas, and he was drafted in 2018 as well, drafted in the 34th round by the Royals. So he went to Texas, and he turned out to be a really, really good player. Fastball slider, once again, that is a deadly, deadly combo. So Ty Madden, I think he can help out the Giants some. Maybe just looking for some more pitching. There were a couple other positions that I maybe considered, but I think some more pitching would be nice for this Giants team. And next up at number 15, this is the team that was supposed to have this pick. The Houston Astros were supposed to have the 15th pick, but it had to be forfeited because they thought it'd be funny to hit on trash cans and cheat. So yeah, of course you know why the Astros don't have this pick. So we're just going to move on. So the team with the real 15th pick is the Milwaukee Brewers, and I've got them selecting Colton Cowser, an outfielder from Sam Houston State. Maybe he fell a little bit. Maybe you were expecting him to go a little bit higher. But this is a guy who's a very good hitter, solid as far as power goes, and solid defensively. Not really sure where he'll end up playing. Maybe he's able to stay at center field, but there's also a chance that he doesn't. So Colton Cowser, an interesting prospect here. I think just where he ends up playing in the outfield is probably the biggest question with him. At number 16, we have the Miami Marlins selecting Benny Montgomery, an outfielder, another player from the high school level. So Benny Montgomery, this is a speedster who is very good defensively. So he's going to have to improve a little bit more as a hitter, getting on base. But he can run the base path really well, and he's going to be a very, very good player one day. And I can promise you that. He's got good defensive tools coming into the major leagues. At number 17, the Cincinnati Reds select Gavin Williams, a righty from East Carolina. This guy, I really, really like Gavin Williams. This guy is a great pitcher coming from East Carolina. Very good team. That fastball is scary. Gavin Williams' fastball, it's a scary pitch. So the Cincinnati Reds, I think they come in here, they add some pitching. Sonny Gray, Wade Miley, those guys are aging, so you're looking for a guy who can be a future big-time star for you, and that could be Gavin Williams. At number 18, the St. Louis Cardinals select Jordan Wicks, a left-handed pitcher from Kansas State. So Jordan Wicks, he's a solid player. Doesn't really have any pitches, to me at least, that really, really stand out. He's a solid pitcher all around, and I believe he's the first lefty pitcher of this mock draft. So a little bit of an interesting pick, but I think they need to add some pitching here, and Jordan Wicks could definitely do that. At number 19, the Toronto Blue Jays select Will Bednar. This is a guy that everybody is loving after his performance in the NCAA tournament. Of course, Mississippi State, his school, they won the national title. Will Bednar was a big part of that. So people are all on the Will Bednar hype train. That fastball slider combo, once again, his two best pitches, just like a lot of other pitchers in this mock draft. So he is going to be a very good player. I love his fastball slider combo. The Blue Jays, they need pitching badly. So I think this is good value and a good pickup here for Toronto. At number 20, the New York Yankees select Michael McGreevy, a righty from UCSB. So maybe a little bit of a smaller school, but a very, very good team. And having a pitcher like this was a big part of that. So as far as his pitches, Sort of like Wicks, nothing that really stands out, but I would say that his top pitch is probably going to be his fastball, maybe his slider. Slider has some good movement on it. But he does a great job controlling the mound and controlling the at-bats. That's something you like to see from these guys coming into the league. And he's got good size, 6'4", 215 pounds. So now we're heading on to the last few picks 21 through 29. With the 21st pick, the Chicago Cubs select Joshua Baez. Yes, has the same last name as Javi. That's not entirely why I picked him, though. He's a very good prospect coming out of high school. He's massive, 6'4", 220 pounds, potential to grow some more. And this guy has a rocket arm. He's going to hit for power. He's a big dude who is going to hit the ball a long, long way. Now, as far as being a base hitter, I'd like to see him improve some, but he's going to be a guy that's going to have a power bat right away. So now at number 22, the Chicago White Sox, they select Jay Allen, an outfielder from the high school level. So another high schooler here, another high school outfielder, I should say. So Jay Allen, he is a solid-looking prospect. I really like what he does. Can hit for power some, but he's going to be solid defensively. I'm not really sure where he's going to end up playing. I could see him moving over to right. He's got the arm to play right, so I think he might end up moving to right. But I could see him staying in center. It's just going to depend on. It might honestly depend on what Chicago needs, because I think he'd be great in either area. At number 23, the Cleveland Indians select Harry Ford, a catcher, another high school player, so he maybe slid down the board a little bit. I know a lot of people are really high on this guy. Just not really a lot of teams that I thought could use a catcher. So Harry Ford, he can fill the catcher duties for the Cleveland Indians in a couple of years, be their future star potentially at the position. Committed to Georgia Tech coming out of high school. Defensively, he's solid, but he's a very good base hitter, has the ability to hit for power. So Harry Ford, a very well-rounded prospect. At number 24, the Atlanta Braves select Ryan Cusick, a righty from Wake Forest. So if you want a good college pitcher, this guy is it. He's got a rocket arm, and he's huge. This is kind of what you're looking for out of these college pitchers. He has something to lean on, and that is his fastball. 6'6", 235 pounds, and this guy has a rocket for an arm, a cannon for an arm. So that fastball it's scary. I don't know what else to say. And the slider's solid. I'd like to see him improve some of his other pitches a little bit more and finding the strike zone a little bit more. But this guy definitely could be a very good player. And the Braves, they need pitching badly. At number 25, the Oakland Athletics select another Clemson commit, Will Taylor. So, of course, as a Tiger fan, it pains me to see Will Taylor and Bubba Chandler going so far in this mock draft. And Will Taylor is another player that's committed to the football team and the baseball team. But this guy is an amazing athlete. Probably doesn't have a lot of upside as a power hitter, but he can be a guy that's going to get on base, and he's gonna run the bases very, very well. So a guy that can get on base, get you some hits, and should be solid defensively in the outfield. Has the speed to should have the speed to play center field. So I think he'll be okay in center. The arm definitely is a little limited, but I'm thinking probably center field. So now at number 26, the Minnesota Twins, they have to get some pitching help. And unfortunately for them, they're picking really late. So I've got them taking Tommy Mace, a righty from Florida. So they probably would have liked to get a pitcher a little bit earlier, but they're having to take Tommy Mace here at number 26 because of how good they were last year. So Tommy Mace, solid pitcher, should be able to develop into a starter one day, but he's probably not going to be an ace that the Twins would like. But they're picking down here low, but they're getting a guy who can be a contributor at pitcher, and that's what they really need. And taking a college guy because they need this pitching immediately, and he should be able to get into the MLB before too far down the road. At number 27, the San Diego Padres select Tyler Whitaker, an outfielder, another guy from the high school level. So this is a guy that I know a lot of people really, really like, and he's a pretty solid player. I'd say that hype is definitely worth it. So he's a solid base runner and good defensively. So Whitaker, he has some very good tools, and he's a power hitter. He can definitely hit for some power. So getting base hits maybe a little bit of a concern, but this is a guy that can come into the outfield one day. I think can be a potential impact player for the San Diego Padres. At number 28, the Tampa Bay Rays select Colson Montgomery, a third baseman from the high school level. So right now you have Joey Wendell there. He's sort of your main guy right there at third base. But Colson Montgomery, he's a guy coming from high school. You can let him develop some, but he's got a pretty solid game as is. As far as defense goes, he's actually pretty solid defensively. And then he's going to be a big-time power hitter, most likely. 6'4", 190, a little bit of a slim frame. So I expect him to put some more weight on that frame and could be a deadly power hitter one day. And now for the final pick of this mock draft, number 29, the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is not a joke. Select Max Muncy, a shortstop from the high school level. Yes, they're not related. I know exactly what you are thinking, and let me explain. Their all-star first baseman, Max Muncy, and this Max Muncy, a shortstop in high school, they are not related, but this is actually a fairly interesting pick. He's a very well-rounded player, definitely could go in the first round, and we've seen so many shortstops go in this mock draft. So Max Muncy here at the Dodgers, of course, you want to pick it for the name, and honestly, it doesn't matter who the Dodgers pick. They're still going to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in baseball. The Dodgers are loaded, but this is a guy that can maybe come in a couple of years and be a big-time impact player for you. Should be able to run the bases pretty well, and is I'd say average. Should turn out to be an average player defensively. Can hit for some power, and overall just a very well-rounded player. So of course it's a fun pick, but also it makes some sense for the Dodgers. But that is all I have for this video. So be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what you thought about my picks. What picks would you change? What picks did you like? And what did you think about your favorite team's pick? I want to know all that in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And go subscribe to my live streaming channel and my Clemson channel if you're not already subscribed to either of those. They will each be linked in the description, as they always are. And I'll see you guys next time here on Sports Earth.